So welcome again. Thank you for joining. My name is Stefan. I'm the product manager at FinDock, and today we will go over the FinDock July 21 release, where we will go through all the content of this release, highlight changes that we've made, explain some of the changes that we made. We have 2 demos prepared for you, and in the end, obviously, there's room for questions and feedback from you or during the presentation. So if you have a question, then please feel free to either use the chat or the Zoom Q&A function to let us know. This release will go out, is already, all the content of this release is already in your sandbox environments when you're a customer, and will be pushed to your production environments on July the 18th, Sunday evening, so Monday morning the 19th, it will be available to you and ready to use in production. And in this release, we want to give you an overview. We want to give you an update on the statuses of our pilots that we are running at the moment. Then we want to give you an update on the mandate management, automated mandate management features we added to our auto collect beta. We want to show you the new features we added to FinDock PayLink and why we're very proud of it and consider it GA from now on. And we want to highlight several more bug fixes or minor enhancements we made to the system. For everybody who is not aware of the Salesforce, we use the same definitions as Salesforce does, whereas most of our features are generally available, meaning it's for every customer, it's always there. But when we are developing new features, we start bigger features. We start in pilot, which is a smaller group of customers we actively work with to pursue if there's value in us adding features to our product. And then we move to a beta stage where the product is publicly available to all of our customers, documented, but there can be known deficiencies. And when we are happy with it, it goes to generally availability, and it's fully supported, fully part of the license that is FinDock. Now, at the moment, we have 3 different pilot and beta programs running. The first one being Auto Collect, helping you to automatically collect your recurring payments every day, for example. The second one is Data Quality, where when you collect recurring payments, we help you understand, is the data that I used for that of the right integrity? And thirdly, we have FinDock PayLinks, where we automatically generate payment links in FinDock that you can share with your customers or members or donors, so they can pay their invoices, for example. Now, with the July release, FinDock PayLinks is moving to generally availability, meaning it's available to everybody. And the data quality validation, we upgrade from pilot to beta. So we have worked with a lot of customers. We've received a lot of feedback from multiple, over 10 customers we worked with that provided feedback on these rules. And thank you for that. And the changes we made in last release around performance mainly, they seem to work really, really well. So we are very confident in moving this to a beta phase of the product development. That doesn't mean we're done, but it means it's stable, and we encourage you to use it. Now let's move on to the mandate management. So we have a pilot we call Auto Collect, where we help you to automatically collect your recurring payments. So far with FinDock, we have a tool called Payment Schedule that, for example, when you collect every month, you can run a payment schedule. But this running, it could be automated, but you had to do it yourself as an admin or as a partner for your customers, because primarily it was a manual exercise. Now with this pilot or this beta feature, Auto Collect, we already give you the capability to automatically collect your payments, recurring payments, automatically running these payment schedules. That could be every week, every day, once a month, etc. But with this release, we don't only do this for the automatic collection of payments, because for certain payment schemes, for example, the SEDA payment scheme in Italy, but also BEX direct debits, next to the collection of the payment, you need to register or update and manage your mandates or DDIs. And we do this already via a tool called Payment Schedule, very similar mandate schedule, very similar to the payment schedule. And now we are also adding support to automatically create your, let's say, DDI lodgement file or your SEDA files. We do this by improving on multiple areas. And the first improvement we'd like to show you is we updated the layout of the mandate schedule. So the mandate schedule, very similar to the payment schedule, now got a new lightning page layout, which we also have set as the default. And that lightning page layout dynamically shows the right fields using a new feature from Salesforce called Dynamic Forms, and shows you the right fields that are important to your process and hides away fields that are not important to you at that stage. And on the top of the page, we added a payment, the mandate schedule path, very similar to the payment schedule path, where you can exactly see where is my mandate schedule in the process and what is it doing right now. Now, if you are a current customer and you want to, you're very keen on your own layout, then that's not gone, obviously. So you can log into your org and assign your current page layout as the default layout, and then you will use that one instead of the one that we've shipped with this release. Then to mandate schedule, we also added a new object called the recurring mandate schedule, which helps you to create mandate schedules or plan mandate schedules in advance. So if you say, we always create these files, these mandate files, let's say the 5th of every month, then you can now create a recurring mandate schedule, and that automatically or manually creates mandate schedules for the future. Now, similar to payment schedules, there's a preview here. There's fields that give you fine-grained control to set on the mandate schedule. It works very similar. And with that feature, you get the same ability as you get with automated payment collection. Namely, you can set the configuration once, and then we run it automatically for you in the backend. And only you have to correct your failures and manage exceptions. So when you say to FinDock in the settings, hey, automated mandate management can be is on, and you tell us what your rhythm is by creating a recurring mandate schedule, one or multiple, then every night, for example, we create a mandate schedule, but also execute that for you. I will show you that in a minute. And the setup experience here is also improved. And we are highlighting this to you because we also like to hear your feedback, because our setup experience has had the same look and feel now for quite a while. And we are thinking about how to improve it, what works, what doesn't work. So if you think this is a good step in the right direction, or if you're missing certain elements, please feel free to let us know, because we are keen to iterate on our setup experience to make it as intuitive for you as partners or as admins or as users as possible. Enough, I guess, about the changes. Let's also see it for ourselves. And I have an org prepared here where it's already set up. So, but we will run. We will go over the configuration and we will run a nightly heartbeat where we create a mandate schedule and execute it. Now, here's an object called the recurring mandate schedule, as we shared, which create mandate schedules in advance. And there's multiple options. There's a daily option, a weekly option, or a monthly option. But for this example, we will look at the daily option. And this mandate schedule is meant to create files for what we call our BEX manual flow, where we create the DDI, the lodgement files based on DDI or mandates in your system. And what you can say here, what you can also see in the preview on the right-hand side, is we want to create these, we want to run this process every day. And we want to run it 2 days before the BEX network needs to execute it. So we say repeat frequency is 1, that means every day. And then we want to do it 2 days in advance. So if we run it today, it will be processed by the network on 2 days later on the 11th, and then tomorrow on the 12th, etc. Now we will do this from the 18th of last month until, in this case, the end of July. But if this field was empty, we would have done it until the end of time. Now, every night, there is a job in FinDock that looks at these records and thinks, do I need to do something? And let's just pretend for now that for the demo, that this is one of these nights. So I'm going to run a piece of Apex scripts that simulate the same behavior as we would execute in the night. And that is executed now. And you will see that related to this recurring mandate schedule, recurring mandate schedule, we now have created a mandate schedule, number 16, and we are executed also based on our settings. So what you can see here is the new layout of mandate schedules, including the new path. And you can see we are now in the generate phase, where we go through the system and select the right amount of mandates that we want to bring to the network. And you can see also here we found two, number 86 and number 87. Then the mandate schedule is a 4-step process compared to the payment schedule. So we went from generate to validate, where we validate the integrity and the data quality of these mandates. And now we go to process. And process starts a processing process on our processing hub, brings the data to that app, and then creates a DDL lodgement file out of it and brings that back to FinDock and posts that to Chatter in our case. Now, in the last couple of releases, we added a new tile here called we call internally the processing hub mini tile, where you can see there's a process running and it's currently this far. But when you click on this, link, it opens the processing hub manager directly for that process, and it brings back to you way more details. It's loading a bit slow, because I have so many processes here, but here you can see this process and it's already finished. And that means when I go back to the mandate schedule, there's a file for me in Chatter, and when I've brought that to my bank or bureau and I accept it, this will trigger the last process where the mandates that were put in the file will be activated or cancelled based on based on either they were there to be cancelled or registered in the first place. Now, this is what we wanted to show you around mandate schedule. And we really feel that together with now our UK customers and the Italian customers, you now have an end-to-end flow where you can do your whole direct debit operations manually via the files, but automatically in FinDock. Complete end-to-end with Smart Debit, or as well for SEDA manually, where we create the files and you bring them to the bank. Then the other big topic we have been working on in the last release is FinDock PayLinks, which moves from beta to generally availability. And for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, FinDock PayLinks is a way how you can in a simple manner collect fast and easy online payments. What we do is we help you automatically generate payment links that you can share with your customer. And when they open that link, your end customer, when they get a payment page, they select the payment method, make the payment, and in real time, your data in Salesforce will be updated. And to top it off, the look and feel of this payment page is totally configurable, easy to set up and no code required, but you can brand it, style it, add your colors and house style to it, obviously. Now for this release, we did 3 different things that we'd like to show you. The first one is we redesigned the payment selection method. I will show you that in a bit, but that was a pick list and now it's way better. Secondly, we introduced a PayLink user onboarding flow when you, for the first time, you open the PayLink builder. And third, but definitely not least, in our current setup scope, it was possible to create 1 PayLink page per org, but now it's possible, very similar to giving pages, to create multiple PayLink pages in 1 org. Firstly, redesigned payment method selection. We have improved the in both in giving pages and in PayLinks, we reuse the same payment form component. And in that component, you could choose which payment methods to offer to your customers or donors. And that was presented to your customers in the form of a pick list. And with this new release, we upgraded this UI for a better payment method selection that improved, we feel, dramatically the look and feel of the page. This helps you this helps your customers to get more easily and quickly an overview of all the payment methods that they can choose from. It also now has a logo in front of it, giving them more confidence and an easier signal to recognize which payment method it is. And it's way more mobile friendly to navigate. These icons that we added in front of the payment methods also are available to all our customers in the Get Payment Methods API that is in the product. So when you have your website hooked up to our API, but you also want to show these logos, then you're free to do so. That's documented and right there. And the second upgrade we made is we have invested for PayLinks in a user onboarding flow, where the first time you open the PayLinks builder, we show you a welcome mat, highlighting to you what we are going to do, but also giving you a link to the right articles in our knowledge base. And then the first time there's a walkthrough with elements that show you how the builder works and what different parts are meant to. Now, similar to the mandate schedule setup experience, we are very keen to learn on your feedback, because we also try to learn as a company on, okay, what are the tools that Salesforce offers us to do this, and how can we make our whole setup experience in general better. So if this is a direction you like, and you think it would be great if FinDock had these type of onboarding flows in different phases of the product other than the PayLinks builder, then please let us know. If you think never look at it, then that's also something we'd like to hear and understand from you why that is, and etc. etc. And last but not least, definitely not least, we now added the ability to create multiple PayLink pages in the same Salesforce org. And the reason we did this is this gives you many tools to add more localization to your PayLink page. So a very typical example would be that if you're an organization and you send out invoices to different countries, then maybe you want to have a different branding, but also a different language on the page. And maybe you want to add different payment methods, depending on who are very prevalent in certain regions, but not in others. For example, Ideal is a payment method used in Holland a lot, but nobody outside of Holland ever uses it. Now, let's just demo this to you. So I can close these ones. So here I have an org where PayLinks is set up. Not set up yet. And when I open it for the first time, it opens the PayLinks builder. And as we shared to you, The first time it will show you a welcome mat saying, hey, welcome to FinDock PayLinks, a bit of text, and also a link to our knowledge base with how to configure PayLinks. Now going back, and when you say to builder, because it's my first time, we get a preview where we say, hey, in the middle, this element, this is the preview element. Here you can view your page in real time. On the left-hand side, there's the page structure outlining the structure of your page. On the right-hand side are the settings of the element that you selected in the structure. And general settings are available to you on the top. And that's it. Now here you can see my page, and you can see that I've already set up a page where we added credit card and PayPal as the payment methods. Now for the demo, to make sure that everybody is on the same page, let me first add a simple background to this page to make it a bit more, to bring it a bit more alive. So I will drop a background image in the builder. And when I hit done, you can, and I want to save the changes. This is now what my page looked like, and I publish it. Now, before we create a second page, let's just first go to create a payment link. By going to a contact, and in my org, I just created a flow. Sorry, this went a bit quick. I just created a flow that creates an installment. Let's say for the demo, I want to create a payment link for 10 euros, Q&A July webinar, and it's due for the end of the month. And when I hit next, it creates an installment in the system. And because PayLinks is turned on, that installment has now a field with a PayLink on it. And when I open this, this link, it gets the data from that installment with the open amount, the bank statement description field, the due date we just showed you, and the background we added via the builder. Now here you can see the new layout, right? You can see instead of a pick list, it now says credit card and PayPal, and credit card was the default payment method set for this record. Now, suppose I'm a company that also wants to starts doing business in Holland. And I want to talk to my customers in a native Dutch way. Then what you now can do is when we go back to the PayLinks builder, and don't show me this again, thank you. I can add an extra page, and it says, please note that this is an advanced feature, and I say, oh, I understand. And it asks me for a name, and I say, this is my Dutch page. Now you get a second page in this org, and we can configure that to mimic what we want, right? So we can go back to the settings of this page, and we say, well, instead of credit card and PayPal, we, for example, want to add, let's see, Ideal and SEPA direct debit for my ING bank account. And now when I hit save, and I save the changes here, this page has two different payment methods. Now, because I'm Dutch, you know, we say, well, the brand color in Dutch we want to use then is orange. So when I make the brand color of this page orange, you will see that all the highlighted accents are now rendered in orange. And another reason why you want to do this could be text, right? So when somebody has paid and you can go to a thank you page, we show you a page and you can model the content in this page. Now it says payment accepted, you're all done, thank you. But let's change the thank you to the Dutch dank u wel, which means thank you in Dutch. And when I save these changes, we are done. Now, how this works on the installment is, let's go back to the installment we just created of 15 euros of 10 euros, this installment 506, where the bank statement description was QA July webinar. Now here you can see the field pay URL with the URL, but we also now have a new field added called PayLinks page. And when I add that and I say, well, this is not the default page, this should be the Dutch page, now we know which page to render. Now I'm being reminded by Lawrence that I forgot to publish the page, and that would be a bit awkward. So the Dutch page, I go to Builder, we made all these changes, thank you Lawrence, and I hit publish. Now going back to the link of on this installment, and when I open it, instead of showing you the original page with the trees, which I didn't refresh, it now dynamically shows the new page with Ideal and SEPA Direct Debit as payment methods. And when I would make the payment, it would show me dankjewel instead of thank you on the page. Now this field on the installment with the page, if it's empty, we render the default page. But you can simply write a process builder to make sure that you allocate the right installments to the right pages to make sure that all your customers get a tailor-made personal experience that is localized to them. Last but not least is all these features are already available in your sandboxes, and in production this is a paid add-on feature, but in sandboxes it's available to all our customers. So if you want to try, then please feel free to do so in your sandbox. We have done our very best to make sure that you can get started in minutes. So if you find 15 spare minutes in the coming week and you think let's try, then we have very high confidence you will get it up and running and like the product as much as we do. If you want to find more information, then obviously you can find that on our website. We have a feature overview page for PayLinks. We made a small video of 2 minutes that outlines the feature. There's the docs, there's a blog, there's lots of content for you to review. So please feel free to look at that. Oh, now to wrap it up, we want to highlight a couple of additional bugs and enhancements we made in this release to you, where the most important one I want to show you is that when you're using us together with WorldPay, we now have added support for partial refunds, meaning that when you have a transaction that you cannot just simply refund that, it could also be that part of the transaction is refunded, and we now make sure we handle that well with our WorldPay integration. Another update we'd like to bring to your attention is that, as you know, when you run processing of processes, we use the data in your org, and we needed to sync parts of that data to Heroku. Now, that can be, if you're a large data volume customer, that can take significant time. And especially we found to update deleted records, we found that was rather slow, and we have updated that well, significantly, the performance of those processes. For a full overview of our release, please check the release notes on our docs website, where we in great detail try to outline to you per component in FinDock the changes we made and how you can make sure you benefit of those. And if you want to watch back, for example, this webinar or other content, then please find us on YouTube, where this will be shared with you again. That's what we'd like to share with you today. Thank you for joining.